Hey guys, welcome to this new module. This module is the most critical part of this course, where we are going to build a complete end to end application having its own front end, back end, and database. Let me correct myself. This is the module where we are going to just give prompts and get a whole application built, debugged, tested, and run by AI too. In different words, we are going to vibe code the product. Though AI will do everything for us, but we need to define what needs to be done, which direction to go, and review if AI is doing right, and accordingly reiterate if we are not satisfied with the changes. The demo is going to be very raw so that we can explore the challenges together. Let's jump in to first decide what product we should build. I'm just coming up with a random idea. We see people struggling to manage and track expenses and savings manually. So we can build an application where we can track expenses, visualize maybe some spending patterns, and get some insights. And let's call this application Personal Finance Tracker Application. So you can follow along with me if you want to vibe code this application. The AI responses we will get while developing the app might be different, but if we just keep following the steps, we will be able to get our working application. All right, now we have decided on the full stack application that we are going to build. Now let's talk about the vibe coding tool that we are going to use here. We're not going to use any of those very famous vibe coding tools like Lovable, Cursor, Workcake. Rather, we are going to take a more flexible approach. We developers already use Visual Studio Code, so we are going to stick to that, and we are going to use a plugin in Visual Studio called RuCode. We already saw the setup for it in the setup section. It has some highlights like while developing the enterprise application, we use IDEs like VS Code and not any web-based editors or IDEs. So RuCode is just the plugin we want. We are free to install it, uninstall it inside our editor whenever we want. So we have the full control here. Next advantage is there's a famous open source vibe coding tool called Cline, and RuCode is fork of that, which means it is having all the functionalities from Cline initially, and now it also have some additional features, and it's open source and trusted by a lot of people. Last but not least, it's just a plugin, a free plugin. It doesn't come with any pricing plan, but for using it inside our IDE, we of course have to integrate it with an LLM. It can be Gemini API, OpenAI API, Claude API, or you can integrate it via service like AWS Bedrock, which is more reliable and secure. And there are plenty of other options. You can choose free options like Gemini API, but remember, all of free options as well have some token limit until which they are free. And if free tokens are exhausted, we have to spend money. So for demo, I will start with the Gemini API, and then I will also try to use the Claude API directly. And after a point, both of these will start giving token or rate limit issues. So when we reach those points, I will finally switch to AWS Bedrock to use the Claude Sonnet LLM. So we are going to use RuCode for the whole demo, but even if you are working on any other editor and utilizing any other tool, that's I think also fine. You can continue on those as well and explore the vibe coding using that tool in the agentic mode along with me. Now let's talk about how this module is going to help us. This module itself has 3 high-level parts. First, we are going to set up everything that we need or might need for our application. Next, after we have everything set up to get started, we will focus on building the application. At every step, we will try to use Roo code. Lastly, we will run the application to see the features working. If this sounds good, let's move ahead and see these 3 parts in more details. In the setup section, we will start with setting up the Visual Studio Code because that's the IDE we are going to use. VS Code already comes with or prompts us to use Copilot AI tool. We can explore those setup for that as well. Then we will install and set up Roo code. We will generate Gemini keys and set it up in the Roo code plugin to make it work. And then we will explore different Roo code settings that we can utilize. We will set up a DB server, which we will be able to utilize in our project. Finally, in case we want to run the application in a container, for that, we will also explore Docker setup. Mostly, we will be running the application directly for the demo. So this setup step can also be skipped if you want. And you can utilize, if you want to run in Docker, then you can also utilize this step. Now the second part, where we are going to develop the application with the help of Roo code. This part might require patience as we might face some challenges as our approach is going to be very raw, so that at the end we can analyze what works best and what doesn't. Still, we need to at least have a plan on how to achieve building the end-to-end product. So for that, think about how an enterprise application is developed in reality. We follow the product development lifecycle, right? We follow that because we want to make sure we do it with clarity and we do not miss out on any requirements. We always take the product development lifecycle steps in the exact order they come, so we should follow same here as well. First, we do gather all the requirements. Once we have clarity on what features we are going to build, then we are going to decide on the tech stack. We can also indulge into any architectural questions if we have. Then based on what feature we are going to develop, we need to decide the tasks that we need to do for building the front end, back end, the integration, and then we need to pick up those tasks one by one and get the code developed. And finally, testing the solution. And throughout this process, we also need to keep reviewing what is being generated by AI. And all of these above steps will be mostly done by our AI tool. We will be just there to help our tool guide it. And if the AI tool is generating responses continuously and taking some time while doing that, feel free to adjust the speed or skip a few seconds according to your comfort zone. Once we have the code ready, we can expect it to have some errors because if we are creating the whole product at once, and we will be building a lot of code without testing all the individual small pieces feature by feature in all the depth. So that will be expected. We will do the in-depth testing later after we are done with all the UI, backend, and integration tasks. Though for real application development, the suggestion is to always build a feature and then test it fully and then move ahead with the next feature. All the requirements will be selected by me all together at once. Hence, I will try to cover the complete code first. Also, if you wipe code for a real application in your company, you can skip the first 2 steps because you would already be having a requirement document with you and the tech stack already finalized for your product. Now, once all the code is ready, we try to run the code and resolve the issues we face. We will first make the UI working and then the backend and database, and then we will finally see the features running. So I hope you are as excited as me. Let's dive in.